Hey guys, Stephania Weisz here of StephaniaWeisz.com, and today I want to show you how to make meal prepping and night shifts work together. As a pediatric ICU nurse who works night shifts, I truly understand the struggles that you can have when you're trying to live that healthy lifestyle, trying to meal prep, trying to follow a plan, but you work those night shifts and you just aren't sure how to make it all fit in. So be sure to stay tuned, check it out, and I hope you learned something new. This is one of the questions that I get asked a ton is how do you make meal planning work for you when you're working a night shift, okay? So one of the biggest problems is people can't figure out how they kind of flip-flop their schedule. I know it can be really difficult, but I actually did this when I was training for my bikini competition. I was working night shifts at that point. I'm still a nurse. I still work night shifts. I don't work as much as I used to by any means, but I know how to make this work with your meals, and especially if you're doing something like if you're training for a competition or you're just trying to live a healthier lifestyle. If you're doing a new 80-day obsession program with us, this is really going to explain to you how to make this meal plan work for you. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to do it, and I'm writing it out because it's a lot easier for me. I'm a very visual person. Let's assume that you're doing 80-day obsession, where you're gonna have a pre-workout meal, a post-workout meal, then meals 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we have 5 meals total. Now, this is day 1, night 1, day 2, night 2, and day 3, night 3. So on day 1, night 1, this is your first night that you're going to be working. So you're obviously awake during the day, and you're going to be eating during the day. So let's assume that you are going to take a nap at some point during the day to get yourself through your night shift, which I hope that you do. But day 1, you're going to work out. Let's say you work out in the morning, okay? So your first meal here is going to be your pre-workout meal, okay? So you have your pre-workout meal. If you're taking something like Energize, if you're going to nap closer to, say, when your shift starts at night, then take your Energize in the morning. If you're going to nap early in the morning, I don't suggest taking a pre-workout or something like Energize because it's going to be hard to take that nap. I've done it before. Okay, so you have your pre-workout meal right here, okay? Then you're gonna work out, okay? You get your workout done. Then you're gonna have your post-workout meal, okay? Right there. Now, somewhere in here, you're gonna nap. Let's say that you have lunch, okay? So you're gonna have meal 1 right here, okay? Then you're gonna take a nap at some point, which is going to extend the gap between meal 1 and 2, okay? So then what you're going to do is you're going to have, let's say this is lunch. Okay. You take your nap. Let's say then you have your meal 2. Okay. This is going to be like your dinner. Okay. Starting on my writing is kind of crazy. And then you're going to go to work. Okay. So I know for nurses, let's say our night shift starts at 7 p.m. You work at 7 p.m. Okay. Now, the next thing that you're going to do is, so you're here at work. Meal 3 is going to happen here at work before midnight, okay? So we're going to go meal 3 before midnight. Okay? So now technically you have all your meals in for the day here, okay? Now, what you're going to do is you're going to end up adding in 1 extra meal. It's okay. I suggest adding in a meal of protein, veggies, and pushing this meal back as far as you can. Being a nurse and the fact that I know you work 12 hours, you're supposed to get those 15-minute breaks and that 30-minute lunch, but we all know that those don't always happen. This is the best thing maybe here to have like your Shakeology and a piece of fruit. It's quick, it's easy, you can make it, boom, you can drink it, and then you're done, okay? So midnight. Now you're gonna add in an extra meal, okay? So let's say we're gonna add in an extra meal here. Okay, so end up having an extra meal. Protein and some veggies, maybe a small amount of carbs, and that should kind of get you through, okay? Now we're done here, all right? So you have your extra meal. Now you're going into day 2, night 2. So you're going to be finishing up your shift somewhere up here. I'm going to show you 2 different examples. This first example is going to be if you are going to work out in the morning, right when you get home from work. So you're going to have your pre-workout meal. And you're going to have this pre-workout meal at work, okay? Like right when you're about to leave work, you're going to eat this pre-workout meal so that you have time to digest it by the time you get home. Now, as soon as you get home, you're going to work out, okay? As soon as your workout's done, you're going to have that post-workout meal. And then you're going to go to sleep, okay? Once you get up from your sleep, now you're kind of back on track with meals 1, 2, and 3. So meal 1 ends up being dinner. Okay, let's say this is your dinner here. Then you go to work. Okay, and then for the rest of your shifts, now you have meals 2 and 3. All right, so whether you have them before midnight, after midnight, whatever, but now you're going to have meal 2 and 3 at work. Okay, and now you got all your meals in for the day. So this is how this works here. Now, day 3, night 3. I'm going to show you the other option. Let's say that you are going to not work out right when you get home from work, but you're going to work out before you go to work. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to come home. You're going to have something small. So have maybe your Shakeology here, have a small meal that you're going to do in the morning, just because I know it's going to probably be hard to get through, and most of us like to eat at least something once we get home from work, okay? So you're going to have another meal here. So let's call this meal 1, and then we sleep. Okay. Okay. Now what you're going to do, I should shorten this area here. So you're sleeping here. Now what you're going to do is you've chosen now that you're going to work out before you go to work. So we do pre-workout meal. Then you're going to work out, and then you can do your post-workout meal either right away, or you can get ready, go to work. What I used to do is I would actually eat my meal at work. So it would be my last meal that I would have before I started my shift, post-workout meal, and then you work. Okay. Now you still have meals 2 and 3 that you get to put into your night here. So again, same thing. You have meal 2, and then you have meal 3. Sorry guys, I know my writing is kind of crazy, okay? So you have meal 2 and 3. And now when you get home, now this here is day 4. You're not working a night shift, hopefully, that's crazy. I know for those of us who have worked 4 and 5 days in a row. But now let's say you get home, okay? You can either choose to do one of 2 things, and it's not really gonna matter either way. Let's say that you get home and you decide to do pre-workout meal, and then same thing, you work out, and then you do a post-workout meal and you sleep, and then you just get back on with your regularly scheduled meals. Now maybe depending on how long you sleep, you may not fit all those meals in, but you'll at least get your meals in. Or you go home, you do meal 1, you sleep a little bit because you're going to try and get back onto a normal schedule, and then you do your pre-workout, workout, post-workout, and then you still have a couple more meals left here on this day 4. Okay, so you can really choose to do whatever you want. But in this whole scenario, you really only end up eating maybe 1 extra meal. And when I was doing this, when I was prepping for a bikini competition, yes, I know, I did a bikini competition. I did one a couple of years back when my coach even at that point told me, just eat an extra meal if you're hungry, bring yourself extra protein and veggies, that's it. Bring some extra protein and veggies, because the worst thing that happens is you just add an extra protein and veggies. Now, depending on if you're doing 80-day obsession and what type of meal bracket that you're in, maybe you could even split up one of your meals and do like half of meal 3 and then the other half of meal 3 a little bit later, if you're someone that feels like you need to eat more often. But we also know, again, working a 12-hour shift, depending on where you work, I work in a pediatric ICU, there's not always a ton of time to eat every 2 to 3 hours. You do your best and make do with it. But in this scenario here, you only end up adding in really 1 to 2 extra meals, and those extra meals are just going to be protein and veggies. So I hope that kind of helps you to understand how you can meal plan for working night shifts. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below or message me. I will be more than happy to answer them. Thanks for taking a few minutes to watch this. I know it can be hard to work a night shift and feel like you just can't make it happen, that you can't live that healthy lifestyle, that you can't meal prep and meal plan. I'm here to tell you that you can make it work. And if you choose to make one of these days your rest days, which is always fine too, to make that a rest day, then just go ahead and do your meals accordingly. You can still make it work. You just kind of flip when you're eating. Thank you so much for joining me and learning how to meal prep and work night shifts. I know sometimes it can seem overwhelming, but I promise you, you can make it happen. If you like this video, be sure to hit like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, and let me know, is this something that you struggle with? What is your biggest takeaway from this? And are you ready to start living your healthiest life yet? Have a great day, guys. Until next time.